Hey guys, this is Austin, and today I'm here with a review of Mass Effect Infiltrator for iOS. While this is a tie-in with Mass Effect 3, it follows an entirely different storyline and has a different developer, so is it worth picking up? The first thing that grabbed me were the graphics. On an iPhone 4S, the game looks absolutely fantastic, with the only real slowdowns happening when you use your cloak ability. Infiltrator looks especially good in a firefight, with lots of enemies and effects on screen at one time. The audio design is also good for a mobile game, with full voice acting and good sound effects.
Anali is aligning with our long-term goals. Cerberus is moving forward. Moving forward?
I haven't finished the main Mass Effect series, so I won't say much into the overall story, but some things did jump out at me. It basically launches you right into the game without filling you in on much, and on top of that, enemies just seem to appear out of nowhere at random times, without so much as an explanation. I've got some issues with the presentation as well. For example, unlike the main Mass Effect games, the dialogue and RPG elements are kept to a minimum here, and are largely held to a few token choices. Cutscenes would also have helped at some times, as major plot points seem to be happening without me really understanding what was going on. Gameplay itself is fairly unique for an iOS game. Like the main series, it requires you to think things out as opposed to rushing headlong into a fight. You get a few weapons as well as a cloak ability, which temporarily makes you invisible, along with biotics, which allow you to do things like drag enemies out of cover for a quick takedown. Once you get into the game though, you'll find it has a heavy emphasis on using cover and racking up style points, which requires you to chain together attacks, swapping weapons, and using your powers to achieve the best score at the end of each level. Infiltrator also ties in with Mass Effect 3 by allowing you to use intel gathered in the game to either buy more weapons and upgrades or send it to your Mass Effect 3 game. Definitely the most controversial part of the game are the controls. On one hand, they're fairly good, with easy access to switching weapons and the ability to tap on an enemy and just line the shot up as opposed to having to fire each shot individually. On the other hand, the controls are much more likely to get you killed than anything else. It's easy to get yourself out of cover or send your character flying right into a group of enemies by accident. The third-person camera can also sometimes get stuck behind you, giving you absolutely no visibility of what you're shooting at. There's a lot of potential in the quick swipes and core of the controls, but I can't help but wish they had implemented motion as well as a less touchy cover system. Overall, Mass Effect Infiltrator is a decent game for fans of the series. Graphics are nothing short of fantastic, and the controls have a lot of potential for fast-paced gameplay on a touchscreen. Probably the worst of it is the lack of any meaningful story or choices, which makes this more of a decent shooter than a true Mass Effect game. It's fun for a few hours of gameplay, but there are definitely better games out there. If you enjoyed, definitely be sure to leave this video a thumbs up. And if you're interested in more videos like this, be sure to subscribe.